So, the Marrakesh E-Prix weekend, and first of all, you got to accept my apologies for this being a couple of weeks late. I have been absolutely busy plugging content after content after content, so my apologies. I also have a bit of a throat problem going, so we'll keep it as brief as we can. We'll try not to bore you as much as humanly possible. So the main point, qualifying, nothing much really happened in qualifying. There was a few little incidents that happened in turn 7 was causing a lot of issues for some of the drivers. Andre Lotterer for the DS Chachita team. That's a tough word to pronounce, Chachita. He locked it up in turn 7, got it horribly wrong, and finished way down the field. But like I said, turn 7 was causing a lot of problems for a lot of drivers. And somewhere else that was causing a few problems for other drivers was the last corner, turn 12. There were moments there where some of the cars were using the curb on the big sausage curb on the outside as a skating rink rather than as a curb that it was tend to. Some who were coming across the line, they were sliding, proper kicking the tail out. I don't mind the sausage curve, but come on, there's got to be a limit. I mean, I know you want to track limits and whatnot, but surely the answer is not these huge sausage curves. Now the unluckiest man of qualifying, poor Stoffel. It seems that either his car was made by McLaren or he's just got no luck at all. Coming to the end of his lap and coming out of turn, I think it was turn 10 or turn 11, one of the two, and the whole car just no, didn't want to know, shut down, forget it. So he starts from the back of the field, which is rather unlucky for him. And then we can have what can only be described as the weirdest thing you are ever going to see. We don't know what happened exactly because there were no cameras shooting it at the time, but from the looks of it, I believe it was Tom Dillman, he ran into the back of Friens, who ran into the back of Sam Bird, which damaged the nose of Dillman, put a big chunk down the front left side of it, of the nose. There was some damage to the diffuser and to the nose of Friens' car, and some damage to the diffuser of Bird's car. But it didn't stop because Bird then went on to take pole. I mean, everyone would think that was planned almost. Was it planned? We don't know. So we've just finished watching the E-Prix, and all we can say is oops. So let's talk about it was a pretty uneventful race, really. There was a few passes here and there, but nothing that really stood out. But two moments will define that race. The first moment is going to be Jean-Eric Vergne completely big whatever in it and spinning in the first corner. Now for me, that can only be put on Vergne, because I don't know whether he was watching the car next to him. I don't know whether he was just not paying attention, but he made the move from a long way back into a gap that just wasn't there. I mean, it's like going into a gap like this. There's the other car, and he was going in and in, and the gap was just getting smaller and smaller until there was no gap. I mean, should Sam Bird have left him more room? I don't think so, because he was that far back. I don't think he was expecting it. And you can tell that Vergne was trying to big whatever it in, because he took to a bit of the inside where the pit lane and the track are separated. He's trying to get a bit of an advantage there. So he was spun out after he hit Bird, and dropped to, I think he dropped down to about 20. Well, I think he dropped to practically last, if I recall correctly. And then he got that DS Cheetah car back to 5th. How does he do it? If he could have shown this in F1, I think he'd have been in Red Bull. But they just wouldn't. They wouldn't give him the break. Wouldn't give him the break that he needed. And then the incident. It is golden rule number 1. Doesn't matter if it's Vettel and Leclerc when it comes to next year at F1, or Da Costa and Sims in this case. You don't hit your teammate. I mean, it was stupid. I don't know who you can apportion the blame to, because for me, Sims went to the outside of the corner, so Da Costa had the line. Sims then locked up. I think Da Costa locked up on a bump in sympathy, and as Da Costa was locking up, he met where Sims was, and it was lucky really that Sims, I think, turned away, sort of, and it wasn't worse than it should have been. So Da Costa then is out of the race, and you could see in his eyes that he was both upset and angry. But I would imagine Sims is just as upset and angry as Da Costa is. I want to call it a 50-50 incident, because that's how I saw it. If it was that Da Costa turned over towards Sims, then yeah, I could apportion some blame, but they both kept straight ahead. In the end, Da Costa put himself in the wall, and Sims finished 4th in the race. They had a 1-2 and were dominating. Unreal. But their retirement meant a 3rd career victory for Jerome D'Ambrosio. Who would have thought that? And the celebrations of their crew, their guy in the pits. Anyone would think he just won the championship there and then. The Indian fellow, but that was a proper celebration. You could tell how much that meant to both Jerome and to the team. It was also, I heard this, it was also his first victory that he won on the track, because his other 2 victories in Mexico, both in Mexico City, they were awarded to him after a technical infringement strip to Grassi. So it was, the ending was crazy. As soon as the safety car came in, they get 1-lap shootout. It was on, basically. It was on from there like napalm. So, and in the end, for the Virgin team to finish 2nd third from 1st, and I think I can't remember where Frins started off the top of my head. But 2nd and 3rd, I don't think they can complain after the weekend they had in Saudi Arabia. So all that means we now go on to Santiago in Chile, the next round, where I believe that DS Cheetah are the reigning race winners. I believe Vern won from Lotta, if I recall. Wasn't that the race where they started touching each other and Vern come on the radio, do you want us to finish or do you want us to crash? Which one do you want? Typical Vern. So thanks if you did watch. I've changed it a lot. I did listen to a lot of feedback from the last one. So I've changed it around a bit. I hope you enjoy this format. I will try and get Santiago up as quickly as I can. but as you can appreciate it, we've got a lot of content on the YouTube channel to get through. So thanks for watching. Leave a like if you liked it. Any constructive comments, feel free to leave them as well, and we will see you in Santiago.